drugs in anger, drugs and crime, drugs in prison.
Not alcoholic or something, but it is a potent drink. Swastikas. Okay.
Bula, and welcome back again. In this episode we're gonna explore the capital of Fiji, Suva, and let's see if it's worth it.
Good morning from Nadi. Today we're gonna go on a little road trip to Suva, which is the capital of Fiji. And that means that we will have the longest drive I had until now in this entire 4-month trip, which is, yeah, it is four months already now. Because it's gonna be 3.5 hours.
The Coral Coast stretches from Sigatoka, which is an hour's drive from Nadi, till Suva, the capital of Fiji. The road is dotted with beautiful resorts and activities, but you have to do some research about these activities because it's not very clear from the road where they are. You can find plenty of snorkeling options, water activities and river adventures. There are loads of natural wonders to behold, such as waterfalls, beautiful beaches and crystal clear waters, and even sand dunes, which make you feel as if you are in the Sahara Desert. I will show you some of these activities in a later video, so stay tuned when I will travel back from Suva to Nadi.
Right now we are more than halfway towards Suva and we have entered the Coral Coast part of the highway. It's self-explanatory, of course. It is full of coral down here, the south side of the main island of Fiji. I'm not gonna stop here now, I'm gonna come back later. It's a beautiful route to drive. The roads are very good actually. It's really, yeah, it reminds me a bit of Australia with the nature and everything, and the mixture of the tropical, but then also the sort of almost European looking trees and a lot of pine trees here and there. Yeah, it's pretty beautiful drive this. So we're all 1 hour away, more or less, and then we are in Suva.
So as you can see, the road itself is very beautiful. You're surrounded by lush green jungles, and around every corner is a beautiful, cute or charming town with a nice view into the local life. Next to that, there are plenty of glimpses of the blue, coral-rich waters. Don't hesitate to take a break in one of the beautiful resorts or little bars or cafes along the road. A quick tip for renting a car in Fiji: try a local rental because this saved me around 50% in costs.
Right now we are 15 minutes away from Suva. It was a really good drive actually. It was really decent. The road is good, almost always. It's just a pothole here and there, but literally for 3.5 hours just smooth sailing, really. Now we are stuck behind a combination of 3 trucks or something, so there's a very big line at the moment. Have a look. Today we're gonna explore Suva, the capital of Fiji, a little bit. It's a slightly modern city actually. It really gives it more of a Honolulu vibe. It's of course much smaller, but they have some high-rising buildings here and there, some skyscrapers. And yeah, it's pretty busy here, pretty hectic. Here we are at the main harbor of Suva. So we have some cruise ships and cargo boats around here. I just parked my car here in this parking, and while exiting the parking I was already approached for the first time I think ever that it's happened to me personally by women that wanted to do unsavory things to me. So yeah, that's a first. Interesting. But here we have a convenience store and also a handcraft center. I think it's for the locals obviously. Let's have a look inside, let's see what this one looks like, and then we're just gonna hit the streets.
Oh wow. Swastikas. Okay. Cannot bring those. Hola. Yeah. Good, thanks. So we mostly have weapons that you can buy here, these standard Fijian weapons, craftsmanship, lobsters and crabs and everything in wood. It's pretty cool. You have these kinds of things, for example. Bula.
How are you?
Good, good, how are you?
I'm fine. How about
Bula, hi. Good, good, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, Finaka.
what's up, boy?
Bula.
Bula. Bula. Bula. Yes, maybe later. So yeah, there are little shops everywhere here, tucked away. Of course, you cannot walk around without being, questioned 10 times. So you can never take a relaxing look for yourself here. Well, let's just have a look at the main street. This is where all the traffic is, of course. So yeah, we have a mixture of colonial buildings and obviously new buildings. This is the colonial area probably. And then we have new ones next to that. Let's have a look at the colonial ones. So here we are at the Sacred Heart Church, Catholic Church. It's probably one of the older buildings around here. You can see the architecture here. It's probably it's actually not surprising it's not an Anglican church. Because, the English, they are Anglican. So, but it looks like the same style nevertheless. The same British way of making churches, or at least it looks quite similar to Australia, for example. So let's have a quick look inside. Okay, first thing I notice is that it also has a wooden ceiling, just like in Samoa. But I think it's, I don't know if it's the same, if it's like local wood or something. Everything is stone, so it's nice. The natural stone you have as the wall. And we have stained glass. Stained glass. Looks like the real deal, maybe? I'm not sure. It's a bit hard to judge if it's actually real or not. Let's have a closer look over here. I always like these stained glass windows because that just really is a show of craftsmanship. And that doesn't matter what religion you are or not. It's just a appreciation of craftsmanship and their expertise and ability to make such things. You need so much patience and knowledge for making such a thing. We don't have it anymore. It's hard to find people that have patience to make such things nowadays. So yeah, very interesting.
Here we also have a colonial building that is being forgotten slightly. It's definitely needs some work, but it's here on the junction, more or less, in town. Here we have another sort of market area and stuff, and some shops and cafes. So over here. So here we have a local river that crosses through the city, ends up here in the bay. Okay, let's have a look at the main local market here, where all the locals go. It's a pretty big one, I think. So let's just get in somewhere and see what people around here buy. So here we also have the bus station on the other side. Here we have all kind of drinks stands, which is definitely going to kill me if I try that, with all the ice involved. But everybody's having here a refreshing drink around here. And from here they take a bus to wherever they need to go, somewhere on the island of Fiji. So yeah, they sell all kinds of things around here. All kinds of vegetables and fruits that I don't even know the name of many times. So yeah, it's very interesting.
The Suva market opened its doors in 1950 and has up to 3,500 vendors today. It's the main market of the city and sells every kind of produce.
From the Netherlands. Yes. You know the Netherlands? Amsterdam. You know Amsterdam? My city. Amsterdam. Holland.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Apparently also have another level here. So let's have a look at this level, what they sell over here. I think it's mostly just normal produce. Let's see. Roots. They sell a lot of these roots here or something. I don't know what it is, if it's a spice or if it's like a medicine or something. Very interesting. Bula.
Since the dawn of civilizations, markets have always been a mirror of society, and therefore it's one of the best places to get an accurate glimpse of everyday life of the people and the place you're visiting, and therefore it's a must-do.
So apparently these are kava roots, apparently, which is a root that you have to pound into a powder and then you can make a drink out of that. Just the local drink around here. And it's sort of like a, not alcoholic or something, but it is a potent drink apparently. So it's kind of like a stimulant or something. Interesting. I mean, I'm not really keen to try these things. I mean, not really an alcohol person or drugs kind of person, but yeah, that's their thing to do here. Here you have another 1930s colonial building. It's the harbor front building over here. It's again a little bit forgotten over here, but okay. So the 1930s. Yeah, the streets here, not, you know, the prettiest streets you can imagine. Apart from the occasional colonial building here and there, that's slightly interesting. But most of the streets here are very industrial looking, as you can see. It's mostly concrete around here. But yeah, that's what it is. So this is a newly constructed boardwalk that they reopened here, next to the another very big mall, where you can also go and have a look inside. It's nice with those little huts and everything here. It's nice and decorated. But I think this river is really a smelly river. I think it's also half a sewer probably. I don't know. But it doesn't smell like roses at least. But yeah, what do you expect? So here we have a little memorial of the crown colony called Fiji for the United Kingdom. So the first missionaries arrived here in 1835, so that's barely 200 years ago. Yeah. Crown colony 1874. Land sales on the spot 1880. And proclaimed capital 1882. So before that time it was not even a capital yet. So yeah, it's no, the British Empire. It went all the way, you know, the sun never set on the empire. So next to the actual Parliament House we also have a sporting field. I think it's mostly a rugby field or cricket maybe. I think mostly rugby. So over there we have the stands. It's the field and there is the Parliament House. It's quite interesting. I've never really seen a sports field literally across from the Parliament. But yeah, and we have arrived here at one of the, or maybe the most famous hotel here in Suva, which is the Grand Pacific Hotel. It looks pretty grand. And the inside even looks much better. I've already been here. So let's have a look inside, what it looks like. And it's definitely worth coming to just have a, a drink. Staying here is pretty expensive, as you can imagine. But you can also just visit and have a look around. Bula. Good. So we have these old ventilators from, I don't know, the old days. I don't know how old they are, but they look pretty old. And this beautiful ceiling here with all kinds of ornaments. You can see it up there. We got even some stained glass up there. And we got like metal railing everywhere, and we got woodworks going on. We got a beautiful sort of hall here. And they have, of course, restaurants here and there, bars. But it's a very beautiful hotel. And here, of course, we have the pool. So here we are across from the hotel at the traditional cricket field, also a rugby field. And they're playing here now at the moment, just for fun, I think, just for fun.
Albert Park was named after Prince Albert, husband of Queen Victoria, and it symbolized the colonization of Fiji in 1874. And more than 100 years later, it's also the place where the Fijian independence started by the raising of the flag in 1970. And today it hosts a variety of games as football, rugby, cricket or hockey, but it's mostly known for community. Here we are at the Parliament building of the Republic of Fiji, as it says. There is a container in front of it, I don't know why, but this is what it looks like. It's not the prettiest looking building, it's basically concrete, I think. Yeah, mostly just concrete or something. So this is the actual front of the Parliament. It definitely needs some work, so it's good that they are doing it now, because yeah, you can see that it needs updating. Built in 1949 for the colonial government, it later became the Parliament in 1970. Well, they are at least doing a complete renovation of this entire building and everything in it, because they are doing those benches outside apparently. And these. And this one. It's a complete makeover, I think, at the moment, so that's good. They're making it up to date. Here we can see the governors of Fiji, for example, and on this end too. So, the latest ones, for example. And behind this one we have other ones. And the emblem of Fiji. So here we have the so-called Mercury House, which was apparently where the telephone providers were before. Now I think it's closed, and it everything has a sign like trespassing, not allowed. So yeah, I don't know what's happening with this one, but not much, I guess. So there we have a regal building. Don't know what it was, don't know what it is. It is empty now. But yeah, it is an old, almost like a theater kind of facade or something. But yeah, it's now it's a value city. Oh, that one is empty. Here we actually have one that is actually still used, which actually looks quite nice, with like French balconies and everything. So here you can see it's a restaurant, Indian restaurant, ironically. And Chinese, but it looks quite nice. Well, let's have a look inside. Wow, that's very interesting. Here you have a Chinese crane and waterfall painting. And this is, wow, this is a restaurant. Jeepers. That's very interesting. Very interesting combination. So this is a Chinese restaurant probably. Then the Indian one is upstairs, I think. But it looks pretty nice actually, with the chandeliers and the lights and stuff. And then the dragons in the back. It looks like a Jackie Chan movie. So here we have the local library. Let's have a look inside. So this is the state library. This is the children's area, which has been donated by the people of New Zealand through the New Zealand Aid. So yeah, you can have, it's small but cute. It's all kinds of, you know, books that you can imagine to have. Yeah. They have a learning corner here with an old television. And for some reason they have a drug book department with an insane amount of anti-drug books. All these books here are against drugs.
Drugs and depression. Fetal alcohol syndrome. Drugs and anger. Drugs and crime. Drugs and prison. Drugs and AIDS. Drugs and politics. Drugs and your parents. Drugs and where to turn. Drugs and your parents. Drugs and your friends. Drugs and codependency. Drugs and your brothers and sisters. Drugs and eating disorders. Drugs and sports. And then there's more here. So they seem to be pretty obsessed with drugs around here. It's also pretty interesting that it's in the children's department. Those kids would be reading about drugs like the whole time, like, oh my god, drugs, 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 drugs. Very interesting. Over here we have an unknown colonial looking building. I think it's closed too, or I don't know for what it's used. But yeah. It doesn't say what it is, so I don't know. But it's maybe it was something important once, who knows. And that's kind of it, what I can find around here that's slightly interesting. The rest is all new. Administrative buildings, bank buildings, ministries, and that's kind of it. And a lot of little supermarkets and shops and stuff like that. So yeah, let's head back.
So the main question remains, is it worth it to visit Suva? Is it a beautiful city? Not so much. So you would come here specifically to experience the everyday life of a Pacific island capital. And you can technically do all of this in one day. But I leave it up to you. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.